It'd be fun today to do a little bit of basically making almost like collage paper, but that we're going to use that I'm going to cut down to use for panels to create cards. So I'm going to show you an example. This is a card that I made. This is a card that I made using some of the Stamp Camp products. And now these are, this stamp, I don't know if you can see here in the background, there is, this is one of our Stamp Camp stamp sets. And then I also paired it with some other stuff that we have. I've just got a few little Stamp Camp things going on here, and then a little sneak peek or two for some other things. But I'm not going to, this is kind of just to give me a jumping off point, because I wanted to show you guys how you can create these little kind of messy messy background type things. They're sort of messy. To stick behind something and then have like a larger focal point. So I think that's where I'm going today. I'm a little scatterbrained. I'm sure that's nothing new for you guys as far as I'm concerned. So I'm just going to grab some stamps. I do have them here next to me. I just have to kind of gather what I want to use. And since we don't have a new release for August, so I know a lot of people have been curious about that. Do we have a new release for August? We do not, because we are obviously majorly focused on Stamp Camp right now. And I just figured since we have so many awesome products already in our line, it would be fun to just focus on those instead of, instead of doing a new release. We don't always have to have a new release, right? I mean, we could keep showing you some great things you can do with products that we already have. So I'm just going to grab a handful of stamps, and we are going to, we're going to get inky. Okay. So let's see, what do I have here? I just grabbed a few of these. All right, so this is Funky Textures too. I think this will be fun. I love the images in this one, so I feel like we could probably do something with that. And this one is a lot of fun with the textures, with the stitches. Hello everyone. I see Susan. I see Kelly. Hey Kelly. Tina Shepard is here, and Missy, did I say that already? Holly and Tina Harris is here. Awesome. We got a nice group of ladies hanging out today. Okay, so let's see. I don't know. Do I want to use this one this time? This week the team is actually focusing on spring, because we're going through the season. So maybe this would be a fun one to try to use for the idea that I've got going on here. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm just going to start out with this is basically a card base, but I didn't fold it in half yet. It's Nina, 110 pound weight, if you like to know things like that. But instead of making this a card base, or a card, whatever, I don't know, I guess card base, I am going to stamp this whole thing, and then we're going to cut it down into four smaller pieces, four smaller rectangles to be used with or as backgrounds for or I don't know, I guess you could say not really backgrounds, but pieces that you can add to a card front. I'm just trying to see. This is the problem. I have too many choices sitting next to me, so it's making this a little bit harder for me to decide on where. And then, of course, there's a certain stamp set that I wish I knew where it was. I'm trying to find it. Oh, this might be fun. I like the shapes in this one. So basically, in order to do this, we're just going to grab a bunch of different stamps. Okay, you can have text, you can have some that have like some fun shapes in them. Okay. And we're just going to start stamping. So what I want to do, because I do have a variety of different kinds of images and sizes of images. So I want to get the bigger images down first. Okay, because those are the ones that are going to obviously take up more space, and I don't want to get down to where I've filled all the space and then, oh no, I don't have room for the bigger images. So we're going to take one of these floral images from the Vintage Butterflies and Blooms set, and we're just going to, hopefully I got that inked well. I'm going to do, since this isn't a whole entire sheet, it kind of makes, it's a little less intimidating. I like to do this with a larger sheet, with a full sheet of paper as well. And you could certainly do that if you want to have more pieces that you can use. But sometimes that overwhelms me. So I'm going to go with this smaller piece. So we're going to basically just stamp and I'm going to do this. This is where they talk about random stamping isn't really technically random, because what you want to do is work in triangles. Well, that's what we're going to do here. We're going to work in triangles because I want a little bit of everything. I kind of want a little bit of everything once I cut these all down, but we really don't know what we're going to get until it's all said and done. Yes, ADHD brain goes crazy. Girl, if I am not that, I don't know what I am. Seriously. Oy vey. Okay, so we're just going to start with that. That gave us some floral, some little bit of floral designs, because I don't want to take up too much space, because we want to add in some other things too. Okay, I'm going to clean that off. Put that back. Now I think I want to take, let's see. I do have some other bigger images. So, I think I'm going to use one of these. This is the Vintage Elements stamp set. This was a stamp of the month, a freebie a while back. I'm not sure when exactly, but sometime within the last, 6 months or maybe more. I don't know. Because, somehow it's August already. I don't know how that happened. Don't. Oh, how cool. Awesome. Yes. Karen says she's playing with full sheets of cardstock. That is perfect. Okay, so I'm just I want to fill in areas. So I'm just going to do some little bits of stamping in different places. I don't really want to take up a ton of this space because I want to add a lot of more things to this. And it's okay. Like you can see here, I had stamped, like I have sort of like that double stamp there. That's okay, because you're going to, once this is all said and done, it's not going to matter. You're going to just, have, it's going to get cut down anyway. So I'm just going to do this. I'm only going to do 3 for right now. We may have to come in and fill this in later. We'll have to see what happens. But I like how this just kind of adds a little bit of something to, like a different, I don't know, different texture, a different element. Okay, stick you back on there. And then, let's see, I have to add a butterfly in here because, hello, butterflies are required. They just are. If you know me, you know how I feel about butterflies. Yes, it is actually a great way to practice stamping, Pat. That's a great observation. If you struggle with stamping, this is a good way to do it, because you can take this piece of paper. Doesn't really matter how it turns out because you're going to end up using it in different ways anyway. All right, we're going to stick this butterfly here. We're going to, and again, remember I said this is a collage paper. That means that we're just basically making a collage of images, and it doesn't, you can look at this as a whole and be like, okay, that's kind of ugly. And that's fine. But when you cut it all down, it's just like when you make those larger backgrounds and you cut them down, or like a jelly print. Sometimes the whole jelly print, you look at it and you go, yeah, I don't think so. But then you cut it down and it changes everything. So that's kind of what we're going to do here. We're just going to have fun adding different elements, picking just different things. I really like some of these shapes in here. So, and it kind of goes along with my little shape that I've got here with that label, whatever that was. So this is the Authentic Faith stamp set. It's just what I happened to grab. I was looking for my postage, my Going Postal stamp set. I really do not know where it is. Oh, there it is. Okay, that might be, this is really a fun one to add in to something like this, but I don't know why it was so hard for me to find that just now, but okay, we're just going to do this in a few places. You can turn it, oh, let's see, a different way, maybe this direction, and oh, maybe I'll just stick it over here. And I do keep coming in and kind of cleaning myself up over here because I will have ink literally all over my hands before it's all said and done. Okay, so we still have some little areas to do here. Let me see. I love adding text, so let's do this little stamp from the Going Postal set. Oh my gosh, I always loved it, but you know how you play with a stamp set and then you kind of you know, you get new ones or whatever, and then you set it aside and you kind of forget about it. Well, I've broken this, you know, obviously because I've been obsessed with all the little postage stamp things lately. I broke this stamp set out again, and I've basically fallen in love again with this little handwritten text right here. So we're going to add some of that. Now, when it's something like this that's almost more of a texture, you can feel free to overlap a little bit. That doesn't really matter. You just don't want to do a ton of overlapping because then it just kind of gets messy looking. So there is, I guess, a sweet spot in a sense with some of it. Let's just do it over here. Okay, do we see how this is kind of coming together where it almost looks like a vintagey piece of pattern paper or something that you might get, you know, you might buy at a store, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Yes, exactly. Well, we're going to cut these down, and so basically, Pat, they are going to become, I mean, they really could become artist trading cards because the sizing will be pretty close to that. Let's see. How about, I just have to look here at all the things I grabbed because I probably grabbed too many. I don't know. Do I want to do, some of these are kind of different. I don't know if I want to do this one. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Just yet. Let's just see. Might be fun to do something that's a little darker, more solid. So let's try this little texture. Almost looks like bricks, kind of, but not quite. They're like little layered dashes. Maybe over here. Yeah, I know you guys are probably very used to me saying that this is how I operate. I don't often do anything start to finish because I just don't have time. I just I just don't have time. So I like to do, you know, steps and things that will eventually turn into something. But it allows me to have fun, to enjoy the process. You know, that whole thing. Let's do some little postmarks because these are always fun, and I like the shape of the circle. So we're gonna throw a few of these in. You don't want to overthink it too much. I'm just kind of filling in the spaces. Let's see. Is there anything else from these I want to add? I guess I should put this back on there. I mean, we do have the shapes, so maybe this little postage stamp shape would be fun. Like I said, don't be afraid to overlap a little bit. You don't have to, maybe we'll do it right there. And I will tell you, just because for me, it's more pleasing to the eye this way, and you may not, you know, this may not matter to you. This could be, you know, a little bit of my whole ADD, whatever. I like keeping them at, you know, would it be a 90-degree angle? I guess I like to either have it go, you know, this way or this way. I don't turn it and make it diagonal usually, unless it's a, you know, an image that's not, I don't know. Does that make sense? Like if it's a square or a rectangle or something, I do tend to keep them this way and this way, vertical and horizontal, as opposed to moving them all around in diagonal ways. And that's just whatever. Like, to me, that's more pleasing to the eye. It may not matter to you at all. So that's the beauty of it. You can do you. You can do you, boo. All right. These little dots are kind of fun. Let's see. This block is a little bit big, but it'll be fine. Let's see. Nope. Yes, wing it. Just wing it. Listen, that is the story of my life. Fake it till you make it. I wing everything. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay. So now I've got a couple of little spots. Let me put this back. And I know, I mean, it does kind of look like a hot mess. Like, I realize that it looks a little bit like a mess, and that's okay. Let me see here. Do I want to do... I like to fill in the little spaces. I know, like, it's okay to have white. Of course, it's okay to have white. But sometimes I like to, if there's certain spaces where, you know, you have smaller elements that you want to put in there and fill in. Textures work really well, like a texture tile stamp you could use to fill in different places. I've got so many stamps laying here, I'm not even sure what in the world's going on. Okay, let's get these out of here because I'm getting myself all discombobulated here. All right, so this one has a little tiny like speckle texture, I think I want to use that in a few of these places. Like right here. Again, adds just a little something. A little something, something. And I still have to figure out what is going in this spot right here. Would it be crazy to add another butterfly? Or, let's see, I don't want to do that. Could do smaller items. You get down to where you have space left, and I do want to fill it in just because I don't know what I'm going to be doing with these exactly. I'll just, here, maybe we'll use this little thing to fill in a little bit. Oops. Oh, I'm missing comments. I'm missing comments. Line of circles is great. Breaks up the line images. Yes. Oh, yeah, girl. No way. Winging it? Yes, I am there. I am absolutely there. Actually, you know what? We're going to just add these little lines to all of the little postmark thingies because, hello, they belong together. Okay. And what do I not have over here? I don't actually have flowers in this section much. So I'm going to take this little flower image in just a second here. If I can figure out how this goes back on here. I'm going to take, I think I'm going to just fill it in with that little image right there because it basically fits. This month Bible reading printed. Linda, are you talking about the scripture writing plan that's in the Creative Worship Bible journaling group? Is that what you're referring to? I think Michelle did post that in the group over there. If that's what you're asking me. Yes, random craft time. Bring it on. Okay, so I just filled all of that in. It's an absolute mess, right? I mean, it just looks like, it almost reminds me of like the tissue paper you can get that has all the images all over it and things like that. I love, whoa, hello. I love the look of, I just love the look of this. It just has so much going on. I know it's very busy, but when we cut it down and start to use it, it's not going to be quite so crazy. So this is, let's see, I need to move some things out of the way here. Your collage paper never looks this good. Oh, come on now. But see, that's the thing. Like we are so critical. We're so critical of ourselves. I would say the tips, you know, hopefully I shared some good tips that you can try if you really don't like how yours turns out. You don't want to do a ton of overlapping because I feel like that just makes it look muddy and you can't really see what's happening. And like I said, make sure you start with your larger images first because you want, why am I putting that away? Because you want to be able to fill those in without all of that overlap, right? Okay, so what did I say? This was focus, focus, focus. Okay, it's 5.5. So 2 3/4, right? Is my mathin'? Oh, there we go. Okay, I think that's correct. Okay, so now we've cut them down and they're these little tiny, we are totally our own worst critics, aren't we, Kel? So now we've got these little tiny pieces and see how you've got a little bit going on in each one. You can see there's part of that butterfly. There's some flowers. There's part of the butterfly there and some flowers. So that's kind of the idea of trying to, you know, keep it like in threes and making triangles. Because then you'll get all of those little points of interest in each piece. And it'll look really cool when you cut it down. Okay, so now what I want to do, and I'm going to show you this card again. I'm probably not going to make a card, to be completely honest, because I just don't have it in me today. But I do want to just, you know, grunge these up and just kind of show you how you can use them. These could even be turned into tags for junk journaling. So that you could put, you know, some things on the back. You could make these into bookmarks. They could be great for like Bible journaling, anything like that. But basically now I like to kind of grunge them up a little bit. Let's see if I can find, let's use some ground espresso to start out. And I'm going to just work on one at a time because I might do it differently. You just never know. I might do each one a little differently. Okay. Oh, and I'm sorry about that light hitting the, I don't know if that's annoying or not, hitting that block there. Hi, Brenda. What's the size on those pieces again? Okay. So these are just, I cut oh my gosh, a half of an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. I had cut that in half, so basically like an A2 card base, and that's what I stamped on. And then I cut that piece, that half, into 4. So they are 2 3/4 by, oh gosh, what did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4. Yeah. But you can do these any size. Like you could do, you know, whatever size piece your paper, you know, if it's like 6 by 8 size that you start out with. This was just easy enough for me to grab, you know, just to grab a card base that was already pre-cut and that hadn't been folded yet. And it was just a nice smaller size for me to work with instead of a full sheet. But see how even just now I'm really even giving it even more of that vintage feel when you start to add that brown in there. It just looks even more vintage. I love doing that. You can do a little bit on the inside if you want to kind of make it, you know, so that there's not really any full-on white on there. So we'll do that for this one. And then sometimes what I'll do once I've cut them down, whoops, I am so sorry, guys. Once I cut them down, then I like to sometimes add a little bit more to them because now I can kind of focus in on some of the areas that, to make them even, you know, make them more different, or areas that maybe there was a little bit of white or a little bit of something and I want to put something in the background. So, because you can, you know, push things to the back or add some things to the background. So that's where stencils might come in, right? Linda, are you talking about the Bible journaling group? I think that's what you're talking about, right? It's the Creative Worship Bible and Art Journaling Facebook group. This one that we're in right now is the Creative Worship VIP group. I don't know if somebody wants to grab that link for her, maybe. That didn't really show up. Okay. So here is, you know, another, just, we've got a little bit more texture, but it kind of is further in the background because we used a different color. We didn't use the black. And I love how that looks. I love just that little added something. And the cool thing too is, you know, you can turn this any which way because it doesn't really matter. So it can go this way and go this way. It doesn't matter. What I did on here, if you want, once you've decided what you're going to do with it, right? You can, if you've got like a color that you're working with, maybe your focal point image is a certain color, then you can come in and do even more. I added a little bit of stenciling to the background of this piece in order to bring in some of the color that I used in some of the other pieces. So it draws everything together. So I'm not going to do that right now because I don't really know what I'm going to do with these, but I just want you to see that you can do things like that. You could do splatters in a color if you wanted, if you know what you're going to be using it for. You could add, you could even add a little bit of texture stamping in a color to give it, you know, so this is kind of just like sky's the limit. Doesn't matter, you know, what you do, just have fun with adding the different elements of texture. Thank you so much, ladies. Ruth and Susan with the link there. Thank you. Okay. So for this one, I think what I'm going to do, ooh, you know what would be fun? Let me see. A spray would be fun, like a metallic or something, adding it to the background. Let me see here. I don't want to do that color. So you could take, I'm going to add a little bit of color to this one just so you guys can see some options as far as how to do this. Package is out for delivery. Oh, yes. Stamp Camp kits have been shipped, and I know some people have already gotten theirs. Some of the ladies that live a little bit closer to me, I think, have already gotten theirs. Oh, look at this blue. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. It's going to be so pretty when it dries. So I think Mary's excited to get her Stamp Camp kit. Okay, so we're gonna have to let that dry. And oh gosh, you know I don't want to waste this lovely. I know I wiped up some stuff earlier, but okay, we're just gonna wipe it up. Just pretend I didn't do this. It's fine. It's only a little bit. It's not a big deal. All right, and then we're gonna take. Oh, did I show you what that was? That was Distress Oxide Spray Salvaged Patina, and then this one has like a mica powder in it. So I guess I'm just kind of used to trying to shake them this way and around instead of up and down, because that's kind of what they say to do so they don't get clogged. But I don't know, sometimes I feel like I can't do it very well when I do it that way. But we're going to take this tarnished brass, and I think we're going to do that to this as well. Ooh. Come on now. Come on. Now, wouldn't these be so fun as little tags, little bookmarks, even just a little, you know, you could make some of these and then put like a sentiment, you know, maybe on another piece of paper. Let me just dry these because this is going to drive me crazy. Put a little sentiment on it or something, or just even write something on the back and just hand it to somebody, you know, if you wanted to encourage someone. I got quite a dark blob there. So there we go. All right. I'm trying to do this. My heat tool is plugged in on the left-hand side, and I am not left-handed, so I feel very backwards trying to do this. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that tarnished brass, but oh, I love it. That's so pretty. Adds a little bit of a shimmer to it. Awesome. Oh no, all yours get clogged. Tina was looking for hers today, but it's stuck in New Jersey. What? I'm telling you, our postal system is just ridiculous sometimes. I had a customer, you need to go to splatter school. That's hilarious. I had a customer message me actually just before I was going live, and hers said that it said like delivery failure or something, but it wasn't even, when you looked at the tracking information, it didn't even show a delivery attempt in the tracking history. I don't even know. I swear, like, we're just at the mercy of the postal system, and there's just no rhyme or reason sometimes. We really just don't know. So another fun thing that you could do to add more texture, like another layer of texture to something like this, would be to add some texture paste or crackle paste or something like that over, like, as a top layer, and that would look super cool as well. So yeah, that doesn't make any sense. They definitely sent it to the wrong place. That it went to New Jersey when you literally, yeah, that's crazy. Our postal system needs a serious overhaul, no doubt. Okay, anyway, yeah, it's a mess. Let's see. I think what I might do, just to add a little bit more of that salvaged patina in there, is maybe do just a teeny bit of ink blending to this one. And I don't want to do a ton because I just want it to add, I want it to be a little bit, just a little bit of something. All right, so see how that just adds just another little layer of interest. Nothing too crazy, but pulls the colors in together. Squeaky clean. Squeaky clean. Okay, so we've got, which one? Where's the other one? Did I already lose it? Sure did. I sure did. There it is. It was flipped upside down, that's why I couldn't tell. So this is like no colors. This is some colors with splatter and a little more stenciling over top. Oh my goodness, me too. Salvage patina with brown is delicious. Okay, and let's see. So you could go a totally different route, right? You could go a totally different route. Maybe you don't want to do vintage so much. You could do a color. You could do your inking or whatever as a color. So let's see. I'm kind of on a blue kick right now. Maybe I'll do chipped sapphire. I don't know. I mean, whatever. If I hate it, it's only paper, right? It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to do something a little different. Ooh, you know what? I just got an idea. I don't know if I would like it or not, but we could even do sort of like an ombre or something. Maybe what if we do some, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just going to go with the flow. I'm just going to go with the flow. I'm going to take this, since it's out, and we're just going to play. Maybe we'll love it. Maybe we'll hate it. Maybe we'll be indifferent. It's fine. I don't want to get too dark in there. I mean, that's kind of fun. Oh my goodness, throwing the lids around. That's actually kind of fun. And then we could still do some splatters. It's just fun to see how you can start with the same base. That's kind of what I like about this. You can start with the same base, right? The same piece of paper, background, whatever. And then you can change it. You know, when you cut it down, you can create so many different things from that one original piece. And I think that's what I just love about doing this kind of a thing, is that I'm not locked in to one specific way of doing it. So then what I could do is take some of this, and let's see, maybe I'll do a little bit of that. I don't want to get too much. I just love this. Oh my goodness, guys, if you don't have this stencil, well, I'm just sorry, because it's literally like my favorite. I use it, I mean, you can tell it's seen some things. I just love it. And then maybe I'll do, let me just wipe this off, because I think I have some of that brown is still on there, so it's muddying up my colors. I think I'm gonna do, maybe I'll turn it this direction and do a little bit of a different color. The different color, see if that does anything. Oh, that's kind of wild. Isn't that cool? You know, hey, I dig it. I don't hate it. And then you could even, if you know, you could still even go around, if you like the idea of having the darker edges, take like a gray, a dark, you know, kind of a darker gray or something, and go around, or even black soot, honestly. Let's see if it looks, how it looks if we did, a little bit of black soot, but not super heavy. Like, I don't want to get too crazy heavy. I just want to kind of, oop, that's pretty heavy. That was a little heavier than I meant, but we're already committed, so now we can't go back. But you know what? Who knows? It might turn into a very happy accident. Maybe the contrast will be striking. What do you think? Ooh, I don't hate it, actually. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Look at that. Okay. That is kind of fun. It almost looks like a vignette, or not a vignette. What's that? Is that the word? Not a vignette. What's that called? I'm not sure, my brain, I'm not sure if I'm thinking the right thing, but that, you know, where it's in photos and stuff, where it's like darker around the edges. Whatever that word is. whatever that word is. It is dramatic, isn't it? I like it. I'm not hating that. In fact, now I'm looking at these going, they need some more drama. They need a little bit more. I love happy accidents, seriously. Oh my goodness, it's so fun. Okay. So now we have, oh, I'm not kidding. I keep looking at these now and I'm like, they need to be darker. Make them darker. Make them darker. Oop. Okay. And I feel I'm probably not even on the screen fully here for you guys. I'm sorry. Just in my own little world, just having some fun. This one definitely needs, listen, okay, I'm sorry, but it needs some oval mesh. Get in there. Just get in there. Look it. See? I can't help it. It needed it. It just needed it. Okay, now look at how plain Jane this one is. But that's okay too. Because you can, like I said, once you decide what you want to do with it, this just shows you like when you've figured out color schemes and things like that, when you know what you want to do, then you can, you know, make this into this. Or you can go completely different direction and do this. Here, let me put these up here so y'all can see them. Oh, I've totally done that, Holly. Holly says, at least you haven't changed your mind after it's attached to a card. You know I've done that. No doubt about it. And then I'm like, please don't tear, please don't tear. And then sometimes it tears and I'm like, ah, well, how can I hide it? I rarely throw anything away. I just can't do it. Okay, so now we've got this, and I don't know, maybe this is helpful just to show you guys how, especially if you're just coming in, just kind of like how you can turn this, which actually was just a white piece of paper, into this, or maybe this. I love it. Yes. Okay, so the question, Julie says, late to joining, what is the stamp used for the background? Yes, so Holly mentioned it was lots of different images. Mm-hmm. And this, just keep in mind, okay, you can do this. Don't feel like you have to buy all the things, okay? I know I own a stamp company and that sounds crazy for me to say, but you can do this technique with stamps you already have. You just have to look and see what you have and, you know, try to pick like I did, where you pick shapes. Whoops, that's not what I want. So I used flowers from the flower and butterfly from this set. I used a couple of little pieces from this set because I like the shapes in here. I used a couple of little textures from this one. And then I used a few elements from this one. What else? And then I used one of these images. So the idea is just getting a couple of the different shapes in there. Like this one has 2 circles because I stamped those so close together. You don't have to read into this, okay? Like this one doesn't have any circles. This one doesn't, you know, it's whatever. It doesn't have to. But you can always, once you've cut them down, you can always add a little bit to it, you know, if you feel like it needs something. That's completely up to you. But just imagine, oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. But just imagine if you like had, well, here, let me just show you this again. So the idea, I was kind of going off of this as my jumping off point. I just wanted to show you how you could take your, you know, your stamped piece, do your stamping, cut them down, and then you can have a little piece that goes behind, you know, a nicer, larger focal point. And it just adds such a fun amount of interest in that background. So instead of, maybe you don't want the whole thing to be, you know, a huge background. You just want a smaller piece. So that's the idea here. Yes. So fun. You love number 3 best? Is that this one? Yeah. Awesome. 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 So, and then like, I think, oh, I don't know if I have it here. I think it's in here. On the card that I shared there, I had actually roughed up the edges too. So you could take, you know, take your scissors or take your, if you have one of these nifty little edge distressors. There's just so many different ways you can change the look of that one little piece of paper. And another thing you can do, if you have, let's say you have, maybe you have some patterned paper that's like a more muted pattern. Like maybe, you know, if you're anything like me back in the day and you know, you hoarded patterned papers. If you have a paper that you're not like super crazy about, but it's not really loud, it's maybe more of a muted, you could do this, you can do this technique where you kind of push that pattern to the background, as long as it's, like I said, it can't be too dark. You don't want to compete with, you know, your black ink or your stamping ink, but it would be a way to use that paper and turn it into something that you might like better. Yeah, who hoards paper? That's crazy. I have no idea. Julie, we sell them on the website. This is an edge distressor. It's a Tim Holtz edge distressor. We do sell them on creativeworshipstamps.com. So, and they're also, they come in, everybody's going to get one that signed up for Stamp Camp or signs up for Stamp Camp, which is in a couple of weeks. So that's going to come in your kit. So if you already have Stamp Camp kit on the way, you'll get one of those to play with. So anyway, but isn't that so cool how that roughs up that edge and gives it, again, just a completely different look from, you know, this to this. Oh, nice. That's funny. Yes, I love it. I love this little tool. It's fun. It, you know, it saves you from impaling yourself on your scissors. So, let's see. I'm going to make sure I'm not missing any comments. Yes, I am very excited for Stamp Camp. Okay, so I think I'm going to, because it is 4 o'clock already, how did that happen? I'm going to just leave this like this so you guys can really see the difference, how we kind of like went from here all the way to here. And I will, who knows, you'll see these somewhere along the line. I assure you they'll be used in something, some kind of creation that I share. But I hope you give it a try. And if you do, please share in the group and give me a tag, and I will be happy to leave you some love. But I hope you'll play with the idea and enjoy. All right, guys, have an awesome rest of your week. It's only Monday.